Hi y'all, welcome back. My name is Matthew.
And I'm Hunter.
And clearly we are Hunter and Matthew. If you are new, welcome. If you're not new, also welcome.
So today, previously we talked about in one of our videos that we had to move 7 times in 2020. Alone. So we kind of just wanted to give a nice timeline of why we had to do that. So if you like what you see today, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications, and you'll see more of our wacky life together.
Yeah. Let us know if you subscribe too.
So at the beginning of 2020, we lived in Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan, in New York City, which is right here. And we were subleasing this apartment, beautiful apartment.
It was more of like a high-rise building. We got very lucky that we knew someone who needed a sublet, and we were like, we will take it.
Yes. But yeah, we paid less than 50% of the apartment, so we definitely got really lucky because it was blocks from Times Square, which is a blessing and a curse altogether.
It's just a lot of energy and a lot of people that I wasn't necessarily prepared for. If you've been in the city, you know what I mean by like the energy that area brings is just so amped.
It's magical at some times, but we lived there for 6 months straight, and I was ready to
not live there.
Yeah,
anymore.
it was
so
time. Loud all the time. We lived so close to Lincoln Tunnel, which is one of the tunnels that you can take a car in between New York and New Jersey. So we were literally a block from that tunnel, and so it's just cars all the time going in and out of the two states. So honking all the time, sirens all the time, people all the time. And we worked in Midtown, so we would sometimes walk to work. Matthew walked to work.
I walked to work every day because there was just no point in taking the train.
Yeah, so it was walking through Times Square with all those people, and New Yorkers walk pretty fast.
Tourists do not. Which is fine because they're taking it all in, and I've been that tourist. I've been there, and to see Times Square for the first time is great. I avoid Times Square at all costs now. Mainly A, because now COVID and there's too many people down there. And then B, because
people walk too slow. And I got places to be. I truly have places to be, people to meet, money to make. Really, money to make. So, get out of my way. And so then March 8th, 2020. So a couple days before everything hit the fan was when our lease ended. And we had tried getting apartments, but we tried to find apartments together, then we tried roommates, and then we tried all sorts of stuff, but nothing ever solidified.
Everything really just kind of kept falling through, and it was just it was really frustrating at the time, because it's what are we doing wrong? I don't think we were doing anything wrong necessarily. It don't make no sense.
So it's so hard. What are you looking at?
There's a little piece of it.
Okay.
It was bugging me.
Unbug it.
I did. Thank you. And so none of the things we were trying to do went through, and then everything kind of just hit.
Wait, let's also back up. I got scammed out of $500 because this guy was like, "Yeah, you'll get approved for this apartment. Just put this $500 refundable deposit down, and if you don't get approved, then we'll just give it back to you." Right? Well, didn't get approved. And so I said, "Give me my money back."
No response.
No, I got a response. He
you
said,
did?
"Yeah, I'll do it." And then a month went by, didn't get anything back. So I responded again. I said, and they said, "Oh, that's weird. Let me try again." Face crack of the century, America.
Well, face crack in the moment, because then the real face crack happened.
Oh yeah, then a couple days later, the pandemic started. Well, it technically had already started, but
it hit.
It hit. So Broadway closed March 12th.
So after we couldn't find anything, we then stayed with a friend on their couch in Bed-Stuy.
Wait, we lived in a hotel for a day.
We did live in a hotel for a day. So we went Hell's Kitchen to a hotel in Hell's Kitchen to the couch in Bed-Stuy.
Which is way in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yes.
So a lot of our stuff was in storage because we were living on a couch in an air mattress in our friend's living room. So we couldn't bring all of our stuff. So a lot of it was in storage. And then
the pandemic really kind of went into full throttle.
So after we were in Bed-Stuy for a couple of days, our friend was trying to move out and wanted someone to take over their sublease. And so we were like, we'll do it. We need a place to stay because we literally are sleeping on a couch. A whole married couple sleeping on a couch.
Well, and our jobs hadn't necessarily closed at that time either. It was all looking up.
It was all looking up. We moved in. What do you move in? We were staying on his couch for a couple of days just to get used to the area and everything. And then our jobs on my birthday were both like, hold up, put my business out there in the street.
Okay, a couple days later,
our jobs are both like, hey, we're gonna close for now.
We're gonna close for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It did say 2 weeks, and so
everyone was like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
And so I go to my job, and I was supposed to work like, I don't know, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. And I get there at 6, and everyone who had been there before me had already finished the work for
Everything.
Because they said we're gonna finish through the weekend, and then we'll close on Sunday, because it was Friday. We get there Friday, and everyone before us had already finished everything, so I was at work for like 40 minutes, and they said, okay, there's literally nothing to do. Who wants to go home? And I said, me, it's my birthday. And they were like, it's your birthday, why are you here? And I was like, you tell me. You tell me.
Not you tell me. And then after both of our stores closed, we were like, let's just go home for 2 weeks.
Yeah, so luckily Matthew's dad was like, please come home, we haven't seen you in 6 months. So he paid for our flight.
He helped pay for the flight. I feel like I did. I think I chipped in a little bit.
Either way,
because I felt bad.
I didn't pay for anything. So my flight was paid for. Oh, and we flew Delta.
We did not. Did we? No.
I'm pretty sure we flew Delta.
We did fly Delta.
We flew Delta.
That was the only time I've ever flown Delta.
That's why I know. It's also the only time I've ever flown Delta. That's why I specifically remember it was Delta. Yeah, so we flew home, thinking it was going to be 2 weeks. How long was it, Matthew, that we stayed at home?
Until July.
We were there for 5 months.
5 months.
Technically, so Matthew has started a work from home position, and my job was just giving us training to do from home. And so once things started to look somewhat up towards the middle of summer, both of our jobs reopened, but Matthew was now permanently work from home until...
I was on a contract work from home for 6 months, and that contract had ended at the midpoint of January.
Whereas mine was just until they decided to reopen. And they decided to reopen in like second week of June. However, as I also stated previously in a previous video, I almost died in June of 2020. So I was in the hospital bed for 6 weeks, and I kid you not, my boss called me while I'm in the hospital. It was like, hey, we're reopening in a couple days. Will you be there? And I was like, no, I am in the hospital. So, and it's going to be like a month and a half, 2 month recovery. So
we can do a whole different video on that. Yeah. If you all really want to know.
Yeah, so I was like, you can, when my doctor clears me to get into an airplane, I'll be there. I will be there. And so that was like second week of June. I didn't go back to work until August 7th, I think. We're finally back in New York City.
I came a little earlier. We were moving into the apartment that we stayed in right before we left. So this is in the Upper West Side now.
Mm-hmm. And so Matthew moved in like towards the end of July because we didn't want to have to pay another month for the storage unit. But I was not cleared to fly until August 3rd.
And since I was work from home, it just made sense for me just to go. And I was able to do it. And we had friends in the city, shout out to them, who came in helped move some stuff from the unit to the apartment. I then paid for their food.
Mm-hmm. And so then I finally came back in August. I went back to work. And so we're living in this apartment for a couple weeks. And then around the end of August, I think, we were subleasing this one room in a 3-bedroom apartment. We did not know the other 2 people that were living there. One person like owned the apartment and was just renting out the rooms pretty much. And she comes up to us, comes up to Matthew.
She was like, hey, so me and the other girl don't want to live in this apartment anymore, so we're going to actually end the lease early. So you're going to have to find a place for October.
The lady said, go home.
Have fun.
It was not like because of us.
No.
Because
they both switched from work from home and they didn't want to pay rent in the city. Which understandably so. That then puts us in an odd position. Because you had to be in the city.
Yeah. We literally just got there and now we're being forced out. And we're back in the same situation we were 6 months prior to. We're trying to find an apartment.
And finding an apartment in the midst of summer COVID, near impossible.
And so we're looking all over and we had just met these people who lived in New Jersey. And so we were like, oh, the trek to New Jersey is not that bad. So maybe we'll check out New Jersey and it's gonna be a little cheaper. So maybe we'll have some better luck. And so we found this amazing apartment and this horrible realtor.
She's really bad. Really bad. Very long story short, we found a really great apartment. She gave us a lot of issues, gave a lot of bad excuses, and then during a phone call that she had with me, which I had on speaker with Hunter next to me, asked a lot about Hunter's everything.
She was asking about my credit score, my income, my student loans.
Which you don't have.
I don't have any student loans.
I do.
And all this other stuff, but she asked nothing about Matthew.
Not about mine. Also asked about like, oh, he works this kind of job? And I was like, yes, so do I.
And so basically she was racially profiling me.
The truth is, I don't hire black people.
Because we had met her in person before, but when we toured the apartment, but she was only concerned about me.
Yeah.
And my eligibility to be a good renter.
And we ended up not getting the apartment. And then she tried to give us a different apartment in the same building, but it was like not good. Anyways.
It's not as good. And also I was like, I don't want to deal with you, ma'am, because if I get this apartment, that means I have to pay you a broker's fee, and I don't want to give you like I purposely said that this time. I don't want to give you any money because of what you racially profiled me.
Yeah.
You know? So no, I'm not gonna do that. But here's what's the kicker about the story. Matthew's on the phone talking about this, yada yada yada, on speakerphone. Oh.
Having the whole conversation.
Right.
I hang up the phone. And you were just like,
I was like,
she's
what?
asking a lot of questions. And I was like, yeah, about you. She just racially profiled you. And you literally said, she was. I clocked it immediately when she said student loans. And I was like, he doesn't have any student loans. I do.
And that's how you know you got a real husband. That's how you know your husband real, because he stood up for me. And he's white. That's right. So get you a man that get you a man. Get you a man.
Or a person. What other that person is non-binary.
Okay, well, get you a person that does this, because child, the ghetto.
Anyways, so after that chain of events, we were like, well, we got nothing.
And yeah, that took like way too long, because it was like all of September we were dealing with this woman, and by the end it was like September 29th, and we're like, well, we have 2 days to move, 1 day to move out. What are we gonna do?
And we had two really great friends who had a room open and not open, the people weren't there.
Yeah.
And we finagled it where we were allowed to sublet that room for a month-to-month basis until we found something.
Yeah.
And that was great. And that was October. And then in October, you found out you were working from home.
Yeah, they switched me to a different work from home position. I was fantastic at that role too.
You really were. I was not good at work from home.
My numbers were crystal clear. There's one month I had bi-weekly like chats via Zoom with my managers. And there's one month that they were like, we don't really know what to tell you to work on because all your numbers are perfect. And I was like, oh. She's a model. She's a Linda Evangelista. That's what they were saying to me. She's perfect. That's exactly what they were saying to me.
While my leads and
They treated you like Dan.
I was gonna say, they looked at me and they said,
Just as I thought.
Trash.
By the tail end of October, we were both work from home, and we were like,
You said, why are we here?
why are we here paying rent?
So
Let's go home.
We moved back to Kentucky again. We were there, and we had planned to be there until like February 1st.
Until I had to go back into store.
Yeah. And then here I am like Thanksgiving week, my boss calls me. And he's like, hey Hunter, I know you're in Kentucky, that's great, yada yada yada. However, if you're not back at the commutable distance of like the real store by January 1st, you either have to quit or transfer to the store in Louisville, Kentucky. And I was like,
Guess we're moving again.
so I guess I gotta move back a whole month and a half earlier than I thought I was going to. So Matthew and I moved to this apartment right here.
Well, we spent most of like the tail end and beginning of December finding a place. And finding a place in the city when you're not in the city is not fun.
Found this place, we moved in the day after Christmas. So literally Christmas Day, we opened presents. And then we literally went to the airport to go pick up our rental car so we could pack it.
To get here.
So that we can leave at like, 4 in the morning?
Yeah.
The day after Christmas. So that was not an adventure. I drove the whole way, so like 11 hours, something like that.
I don't drive. Long story short, Matthew's not the best driver. I don't think that's a gay thing. Maybe it is a gay thing.
We moved here December 26th, 2020.
And now we're here.
So
Been here since then, and it's now to September. Washington Heights.
Back to Kentucky.
Back here. We've been lying to everyone. We said we moved 7 times. We fully, in this moment, never fully counted on hands. We are at 8 moves.
I think we were forgetting the hotel. I think that's why.
Honestly, we could just like leave the hotel out.
Yeah, it was one night, but
So 7. So we didn't lie.
we did. If you ever plan on moving to New York City, I hope your luck is a lot better than ours because
Rip.
2020 was not fun.
It was not fun for anyone. 2020 was awful.
Like everyone had their own woes, which I'm very sorry for everybody out there because I know someone has some beef with 2020.
And I will say, moving is exhausting. It's boring. It's awful. It is still not the worst thing that could have happened in 2020.
That's true. We kept our jobs. Like
we did keep our jobs. Very blessed. Very, very
yeah.
lucky with that. You were in the hospital, not with COVID.
Yeah, we thought it was COVID at first, and then I actually went to the hospital. They said, no, it's not COVID, it's something else.
Never had COVID.
Granted, yeah, I was in the hospital for 6 days, but at least there was a cure for what I had, so that's
Also lucky. Very
also
blessed.
lucky. Yeah.
So, everyone, 2020 was a year. And that's just how we spent it. We really spent it across multiple locations.
3 different states.
Oh my god. Too much. Well, at the end of the day, we're here finally.
At the end of the day, I'm gonna worry about Heidi.
I'm worried about Heidi. But if you liked this video, click like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, and leave a comment with how many times you've moved. Tell us if you moved more in a short amount of time. I would love to.
Those military families.
I cannot imagine.
First of all, what did my leg do to you?
Because I couldn't smack my leg, so I'm...
Yeah, it's not that fun, is it?
Hi.
Okay, everyone. It's now that time. You don't have to go home, but you gotta get up out of here. So, deuces. Bye! Damn it!